Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I work at European Construction Industry Federation. We are an EU umbrella organization based in Brussels, and we represent national construction federations in Europe. And today I will present a MOBICCON-PRO project together with Stefania. I will focus more on a bit more general introduction to a project and what we are trying to achieve with it. And Stefania will go into more technical sides and what we are going to develop and propose as innovative solutions. So very briefly, the project is funded by Horizon Europe program. It's quite a long project. The duration is 5 years. We started in December of 2022, so we are only in 6 months. So the main solutions and developments will be done in the next years. The project is quite big in terms of funding. We have almost 13 million euros, and the consortium covers 4 EU member states, namely France, Bulgaria, Denmark, and Belgium, and 1 EU candidate member, it's Serbia. We have 10 partners in the project. We have different makers, like we have academia, we have a consultancy organization based as well in Brussels, IDEA, we have a policy institute in Sofia, we have, and the coordinator is the biggest construction company in Bulgaria, it's GBS. So how the project came and the reasoning behind is that we know that in the last decade, the total waste in the EU has been decreasing a bit more than 3%. However, according to Eurostat, the waste generated by construction industry has actually been increasing by 6%, and it generates a total percent of 37 of EU waste. Therefore, the project wants to introduce a systemic circular approach in the Southeast Europe region to improve the recovery and recycling of construction. And why Southeast Europe? It's because compared to Western countries in the EU, the situation is even worse, where in countries such as Croatia or Bulgaria or Poland, the waste is still most of the time landfilled. And the MOBICCON project wants to cover whole process of management of construction demolition waste, including pre-demolition, recycling, and as well production of secondary materials. And today we'll focus on 2 main pillars, let's say. It's the mobile treatment plant, which will be built in Sofia, and as well territorial cluster center. I highlighted some of the project objectives. So first of all, it's of course introduction and demonstration of a circular solution to produce new building products and materials. The project as well aims to innovate equipment and propose mobile technical solutions that will be demonstrated later on at local and regional level. We as well want to improve the economic conditions for transition to a circular economy in construction, and as well to propose maybe recommendations how the legal framework could be improved. So one of the main innovations that project wants to do is to open a territorial cluster center. It will be located in the suburbs of Sofia in Bulgaria at the plot that the project coordinator GBS owns. And almost a month ago, we had already a public event in Sofia to announce the opening of the center. And the main idea is to really have a center for knowledge sharing as a hub for networking. We are planning to organize workshops and trainings for different people from academia, from public authorities, from industry, for citizens to really spread the knowledge about circularity and how construction and demolition waste can be recycled and how it can be improved. And at the end of the project, the goal is to have some kind of association that would sustain the idea and that the center would not be stopped after 5 years. The second part is that the project aims to build a mobile pilot plant as well in Sofia. It would consist of different parts and tools and materials. So it would have already the equipment that GBS owns. So it could be excavators, wheel loaders, and mobile rotor crushers. As well, the goal is to have a cone crusher and system for screening and washing. Currently, the project is developing the design with architects, and we are doing all the necessary administrative and bureaucratic procedures to get all the acceptance to build the plant in Sofia. The plant is supposed to be mobile, that could be transported to different areas. And according to a proposal, it should be tested in the city of Pirot in Serbia, which is a project partner, and as well in 4 smaller municipalities in Bulgaria, which are supporting the project. And once it will be working and operational, it is expected that it will process up to 55,000 tons of construction demolition waste, which accounts between 1/3 and 1/4 of total mineral fraction in Bulgaria. And the result should be that it will be really reduce the quantities of the waste that is landfilled in the country. It will help to decrease the quantities of generated construction waste in smaller municipalities, and as well minimize pollutants in recyclable waste. And well, in 5 years, what we expect to have is, of course, to improve the number of recycled products and materials. We want to as well have industrial-urban symbiosis between public and private partnership to improve the recycling and circularity in construction. We want that the solutions would be replicated and sustained after the project, and as well to change probably the mindset of citizens that the waste should be recycled and it should be improved. And as well, finally, we want to expand the territorial positioning of Hub for Circularity. And here, I think I end, and I will give the floor to Stefania now.
Yes, thank you. Let me just share my screen. Yes. Do you see my screen now?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Yes. So my name is Stefania Butera, and I work at the Danish Technological Institute, and I will tell you a bit more in details what are the innovative solutions for circular construction that we are developing as part of MOBICCON-PRO project. And first of all, I will give you some background as to why we need digital innovation in the pre-demolition phase. And then I will go into details and show you a few examples of the digital technologies we are going to develop in MOBICCON. Yeah, as I said, my name is Stefania. I work at the Danish Technological Institute. I'm an environmental engineer, and then I have a PhD within management of construction demolition waste, life cycle assessment, and circular economy. And I'm working on the project together with some colleagues. And yeah, especially Lilian is working with digitalization in construction. So the solutions I will show you later on in the presentation. If you have any questions, please ask. I might not be able to answer all of them in a lot of details because it's actually Lilian that's actually sitting and coding and developing actually these solutions. But she couldn't attend today, unfortunately. So and then we have also Reike, and Reike is expert in buildings and pollutants in building and where to find them. And I will explain you in the following why this is relevant. Yes. So why at all are we looking at pre-demolition and construction demolition waste? Well, construction demolition waste is the largest waste stream in Europe. It's more than 30. It represents more than 30% of the waste, the total waste that we generate as people. And in the course of our life, each of us is generating 160 tons of construction debris, basically. Yeah, over our life. That's a lot. The good news is that construction demolition waste is it's a relatively easy material to deal with. It has a large potential to be, for example, recycled or reused as new construction material, for example. However, there are a lot of quality concerns. In the past, we've been using asbestos to build with, we've been using PCBs to build with, we've been using lots of other pollutants that back then we didn't know they were bad for the environment. So now we find ourselves with a huge legacy problems in what we demolish today. We've also been using, and we still use, metals in different, like I'm thinking about lead in paint, for example, or lead in tiles. It's something that we find in the waste. We find also in new building products, but it becomes a problem when these products become waste. So there are some quality concerns for regarding construction demolition waste. So the European Commission has launched a few years ago a very important instrument that is the Construction and Demolition Waste Management Protocol, which is trying to provide solutions or tools as to how do we overcome the quality concerns that we have, and we end up untapping this large potential that we're talking about. And some of the instruments the CND Waste Management Protocol introduces is the so-called pre-demolition audits. And the goal with pre-demolition audits is to improve waste identification before demolition, improve source separation, and the collection of different types of waste before demolition of buildings. Okay, so what is it? What are we talking about? So a pre-demolition audit will help identifying the construction and demolition waste that will be generated during the demolition or renovation process. There might be some hazardous substances. There might be some waste that is polluted but not hazardous, and then there might be some waste that is completely clean that then is a resource to be used. And if by using a pre-demolition audit, right, we are going to be able to set up a proper deconstruction process So where we dismantle the building instead of just tearing it down, so we can get the different waste streams in a way and in a quality that they can be reused and recycled. Of course, this will also improve the worker safety if we know if we know where asbestos is before starting the demolition, or if we know where PCBs are before demolition. We are going to make sure that the demolition workers have a safe working environment, or at least safer. And then by removing what is hazardous, we will obviously increase the quality and the quantity of the materials that can be recycled. So how do we do that in concrete terms? There are two parts. First, we need to get some data from the building, get some information from the building, and then we need to process this information to give them back. So the data that we need to get from the building is, we need to identify all the generated construction demolition waste. So how much is it going to be? Is it polluted or not? Where is it in the building? And which material is it? Is it bricks, concrete, wood, metals, insulation? What is it? This requires a lot of expert knowledge, because we need to know what we are looking for and where. And as I said before, there is a broad, large palette of pollutants we are dealing with. Asbestos is something we all know. PCBs, it's polychlorinated biphenyls. It's something that was used in the 60s and 70s. And then it's been found out it's carcinogenic and toxic. PAHs, it's hydrocarbons, metals, as I said, chlorinated paraffins. So based on all this data that we collect from the building, we are going to be able to give information as to, okay, which materials need to be separated at the source because they're hazardous, which materials can be used and reused and recycled, and which materials cannot be reused and recycled. I mean, we might have a very nice and completely not broken, like in a very good state, asbestos cement board, and still we can't reuse that because that contains asbestos. So there are regulations that say that cannot be reused. And then it can give information on how to manage the different waste streams. So are there recycling possibilities? Is it landfilling? Does it need to be incinerated? And so on. All right. So what does it mean in practice? In practice, it means to do a pre-demolition audit, we need some very experienced workers to go through the building very thoroughly and very carefully. It's a sampling campaign, and then the samples will need to be sent for analysis. The mix of skills you need to have to do this is, I would say, quite impressive. You need to know a bit about building techniques, building materials. You need to obviously know about hazardous substances, which are the substances we're looking for and where they've been used. You need to know a bit about demolition techniques. You will need to have an idea of the management possibilities for the different streams of construction demolition waste. Is it going to be landfilled, sent to incinerators? Are there local markets for recycling? So it's a very unique set of skills you need to have to do this. Another thing is that not even at EU level, but even at country levels, there is a lack of standards. Like consultants doing pre-demolition audits will do it in very different ways and with very different qualities, depending on who they are and how much experience they have. So it can be done, these pre-demolition audits can be done at with very different qualities. Here you see a picture of my colleague Rege taking a sample during a pre-demolition audit. It's a lot of manual work. Typically, you will have two people. You will need two people doing this because there is one person that needs to do the sampling, and the other person that needs to ensure documentation and traceability of all the samples we take. We need to take pictures. We need to make sure we write in the layouts of the building. We mark where each sample has been taken because that's crucial, right? It doesn't help to say, the paint was polluted or was hazardous if we then can't go back and see or say, but that was the paint in exactly this room and not in the other room. So it's all in all a very time and cost intensive process. Another thing I forgot to mention is that building layouts are actually quite rare. It's not very often you get a building layout, so something where you can see the different rooms and you are able to orient yourself in, okay, how many samples do I need to take? How many rooms do I need to go through? Where have I taken samples and so on? So the reality is that it's not often implemented because it takes time and costs money. So unless there is a very, very strict regulation making it mandatory, it's not necessarily implemented everywhere. And now we'll give you an example of, let's say, a state-of-the-art report from a pre-demolition audit, as it can happen today. Like today, with a traditional approach, this is what you get after a pre-demolition audit. You get a paper or PDF report that will look a bit like this. There is some text, the goal, and here, sorry, I just wanted to pose it here. Yes, here we are already in a lucky situation where we do have a building layout. So it's easy enough to mark on the building, okay, where have we taken the different samples? And here you obviously use a color code to make your life easy. So you can see the red is the hazardous waste samples. The yellow is the polluted but not hazardous waste. And the green is just the clean material that can, in principle, be reused or recycled. And then in the best case, you will get to a big table like this, where you have a picture showing, okay, which sample was it, what was it, where, and the results for the different parameters that have been analyzed. So here I don't know if you can read it, but there is arsenic, lead, cadmium, chromium, copper, mercury, nickel, zinc, PCBs, and chlorinated paraffins. And with a color code saying, okay, are we exceeding the value for hazardous waste, exceeding the value for polluted waste, or is it green, so it's kind of good enough, right? I'm not sure if you can imagine if you are the person that need to use this report afterwards. You are maybe the demolition company that needs to demolish the building, or you are the decontamination company that needs to do something, remove the asbestos or remove the paint, or do something. Physically, you will be going around in a building with a piece of paper in your hands, trying to recollect, okay, so here it was this corner here, and okay, what does it say? Okay, that was hazardous. Okay, so here we need to do something. The chances of missing something, apart from the very ineffective and time-consuming process, but the chances of missing something, misinterpreting something, some information getting lost are very high. So what can we do? We do have digital technologies. So how can we make this process more streamlined and more effective? As part of MOBICCON, we are developing an app for collecting building information. It's something that looks like this. It can be used on a tablet. And we are working on integrating different technologies with this app. Technologies can be, for example, 3D scanning, portable devices for quick on-site identification of pollutants, for example, infrared or XRF machines. We are working on integrating automatically laboratory results in a way so that the consultant doesn't need to manually type in all the laboratory results, but basically they get integrated automatically and machine read by the app, so that you get basically you get the results directly in the app, and you can also automatically generate the report. We're also working with augmented reality devices, and I know it can sound a bit okay, what is it really? I will give you a couple of examples now. So for example, 3D scanner. 3D scanner is very useful when we don't have a building layout. So what we do is that we run this thing. It looks a bit like a camera. It's a 3D camera pretty much. It takes a scanning of the room you're in, and by doing it in all the rooms of the building, and a scanning takes a few seconds, like 30 seconds. By taking the scanning of the whole, of each room of the building you're in, it will generate a 3D model of the building, which will make it very easy to label and visualize information, but also to measure different distances. I will give you an example now. So here you can see the 3D model of the building. All the points marked with red, yellow, and green are the sampling points. And now, sorry, let me just go back to this. Now, this is a very easy. I mean, this is just an example, right? So here you don't have the information you have collected on the label for the sample, the sampling place. Is just the ID of the sampling place or the sample. But in principle, once you have the laboratory results, you can have them here directly. So here it says it's a joint in the wall and just a tag or the ID of the sample. But in principle, here you could have all the laboratory results saying, okay, it's there is so and so much cadmium and so much arsenic, so it's hazardous waste or polluted waste or clean waste. Yes, sorry. Going on with the video. You can measure. It's quite accurate. You can go back to your layout, choose another room. Measure again. Yes. So this is just to give you an idea of what a 3D scanning can do. And then we have, we've been talking about augmented reality device or virtual or mixed reality device. Why do we need those? We need those because that will make the visualization of information much easier. So again, try to imagine now you are the person or the person responsible for the next step. That could be decontamination or demolition, and you have this report or you have this app, and instead of going around the building with a piece of paper trying to locate the different places, you could wear some augmented reality device and see the sampling points directly on the building, as a layer in front of your eyes, pretty much. So basically there you could, in principle, see, okay, is that wall, hazardous or just a clean material that can be recycled? This is not a video of that we made, so it's just an example. But this is the type of information that can be that we could use to show with these augmented reality devices. And I think that was all from my side. As I said, if you have general questions, I will be happy to try to answer. But if you have very specific questions about the 3D model or BIM or the HoloLens, then I suggest you to contact Lilian. She will be able to help you much better than I can. Yes, that was it on my side.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Actually, it is a very interesting project. I have a couple of questions, but I will ask them at the end of the workshop. So going to the next presentation, let me share my screen again. Okay, here. As you can see, the next presentation is entitled Towards Sustainable Construction by Acting with a 3D Approach on Energy Skills. The speaker is Lihnida. Your family name is quite complicated to pronounce, I mean. From Cyril and Methodius University in Skopje. So, and this presentation, this paper is part of the SEETHESKILLS project. So time is yours. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Antonio. My name is Lihnida Stojanovska-Georgievska. It's a name known in our country. It's originating from the ancient name of one famous town in our country, Ohrid, if you maybe heard, Ohrid Lake. And that is the origin of my name. It is indeed rare and hard for pronouncing. I came from the university. I am university professor in physics, but we work in a huge group in construction skills. We have already several projects completed, and this is the presentation that is presenting our current project titled SEETHESKILLS. I will explain what it is about. We are entering in the third year of its implementation, and we can now speak and show some of the results that the project has gained. Let me try to share again, because first it interrupted sharing screen of Antonio. Okay. I hope you can see the presentation now.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, okay, thank you. So the title is Towards Sustainable Construction by Acting with Triple V Approach on Energy Skills. Triple V approach is the main or base approach that we have chosen for our project, titled SEETHESKILLS. What will this presentation provide? The topics covered are energy skills and their relation with sustainable construction. Then I will very briefly explain the SEETHESKILLS approach and current state of art of the project, some of the main findings and best practices identified in the field of energy skills that result from so far 3 surveys that we have done within our project. And I will briefly explain in the 3 last topics the realization of the final project result, integrated register of energy skills, and how it results with all the actions within the project and how it is going toward supporting sustainable construction through energy skills. Sustainable construction is the target that we all are targeting. It has many advantages, benefits, but also challenges. And how we are going towards sustainable construction in the baseline are the energy skills. We need competent workforce, skilled, trained workers. Also in the previous project, we have heard that skills are most important in order to the professionals to be able to implement all the solutions that we are developing. So that's why energy skills are the goal or the rationale of our project. SEETHESKILLS project has the concept to provide the energy skills with these 3 V letters or objectives that are linked with visibility of skills, their validation, and this will result with increased value of the skills. That is where this triple V is coming from. The visibility of skills is to be achieved with providing or creating the integrated database of energy skills. There are many databases of skilled professionals resulting from different EU projects. Also, there are many databases that are providing catalogs or lists of available training schemes and ways to be upskilled or reskilled. But we aim to make the integration of all these databases based on the learning outcomes of skilled professionals. And the additional third database, that is something that is pretty much innovative. There are several databases of construction materials used in construction of new, but also in refurbishment of buildings, of existing buildings. The material database will be the third database, which brings innovation in our idea of integrated register. And the other innovation is this integration or interconnection between the databases. This integrated database, or as we called it, integrated register of energy skills, will enable validation of the skills because it will act as a wide area for matching and leveling the existing skills between the countries, and also, as I said, between and among the 3 databases. The final result that we expect to be achieved is increased value of the skills, increased value of the professionals that obtain those skills, their higher employability, higher visibility, professional also promotion, etc. What are the steps that we in SEETHESKILLS are creating toward reaching these triple V objectives? All the qualifications are based on learning outcomes. So in the baseline are the learning outcomes from the training schemes, but also the knowledge and the skills that the professionals are obtaining through their everyday work experience and also life experience. So pronouncing or rephrasing the competences in terms of learning outcomes will enable us to make this interconnection between the 3 databases. In order to enable leveling of skills, we have defined minimum requirements for recognition of skills within the countries and within different systems and different databases, which as a result enables certification, which can be done by finalizing some of the training courses, but also the second pathway for getting certification is through recognition of prior learning, which assess and evaluates the skills in terms of learning outcomes, as I said, that the professionals already have. And these actions will enable validation of the skills. Visibility of the skills will be enabled by their announcing or by their publication in the databases, the registers that are already mentioned. The main register that is promoting the professionals is Professionals Register, is a list or a database of skilled professionals along with their content of their knowledge and skills, which will be provided and which will appear in the digital badge of skills. Additional functionality that the integrated register of skills will make possible is the application Find Your Craftsman, which will work in terms that when we need something to be done, like let's say install some electrical installation in terms of energy efficiency, heat pump or PV solar panel, etc., then we can find a suitable professional, certified professional with this application. And the final objective, increased value of the professionals and also the companies that are employing these professionals will result as a final step of this, or all of this that will be done priorly. As I said, our project has started in June 2021. We are now entering the third year. The project is finishing end of May next year, 2024. During the project, we first have done several surveys, desk researches about good practices, experiences, and how we will approach in developing the integrated register. During last year, the concept of the integrated register, its structure, its databases, and how these databases will be interconnected in order to enable interconnecting also new databases that will pop up in the market in the next years also is made. The concept is created, and now we are this year we have started the realization of this concept. So pretty most all the databases are pre-created, and now we are interconnecting them in order to start launching of the integrated register. The first start will be end of June with the first databases and the first amount and content of the databases available to be publicly available. But the databases are live and they will be filled in the next project period, in the last project year, when we have also replication and piloting of the databases. Replication targets the other projects that are working in this field, and also the other countries that can join the integrated register of SEETHESKILLS. I didn't mention previously because this is a second presentation now with the results of the project about the partnership within the project. Below on the below line, we can see the logos of the partners. We are 10 partners working on the project from 5 different countries. North Macedonia with the Economic Chamber is the coordinator. We also have our university and a company for promoting energy skills, Creația, as a partner. Then we have partners from Spain, from Catalonia, BIM Academy and ITEC, Institute for Construction Technologies in Catalonia. Then we have partners from Slovenia. We have also Economic Chamber from Slovenia and the university, Civil Engineering faculty from University of Ljubljana. Also from Slovakia, the University of Technology from Bratislava, and their Chamber of Construction Engineers is one of our partner, and the last partner is from the Netherlands, well known in construction skills activities and initiatives, ISSO. That has pretty much practice in and experience in education and skills and promoting the skills, especially in construction. Now I will go briefly through the main findings from already realized surveys in the first part of the project. First, we make deep desk research, but also a questionnaire was disseminated to find out about the status of energy skills on the European level, mainly in these 5 countries that are partners in the project, but also this questionnaire was open for each stakeholder that was interested through the project website. This EU survey has identified what will be our goals and what will we aim in the next project activities. The visibility and the need of visibility was identified as utmost need for the further project actions, because as we identified, only 1/4 or 25% of the respondents have declared that they have published information about the skills that they have. So promoting the energy skills that construction professionals already possess, by making them visible, by making them, by announcing them in such registers that SEETHESKILLS is providing, is something that need to be done in order to increase the visibility of skills that will finally result with increased value of the skills. Only 30% of the respondents have answered that they have formal documents that certify their skills. This was the need identified for certification, further certification and the validation of the skills that people have. By using this methodology for recognition of prior learning or prior skills, we have a good experience with, as we like to say, analog implementation of this process of recognition of prior learning by collecting all the documents that the applicant is providing and then evaluating it, assessing it by the evaluator, by listing all the documents, etc., and finally resulting with some conclusion and the issuing of certificate. But now in SEETHESKILLS, we are creating a digital application for this process of recognition of prior learning. So we are moving forward by digitalization of the process of recognition of prior learning. And this application is in the final stage of creation. The piloting will start from September. We hope that this application for certification of prior learning and existing learning and competences of the professionals will fill in the professionals register with most of the professionals that will be also certified. And to go further, this survey and status quo of the energy skills has identified that there is a need for increasing awareness on the value of skills. During this survey, we have identified what are the most prioritized trainings, which we will tackle in the next phases of the project. Using BIM tools and digitalization in construction is one of the most prioritized. Then construction, coordination, collaboration, and cross-craft training is the other one. And of course, installation of renewable energy sources. Other survey that was done and was targeting construction professionals was in order to find out more about the level of awareness of energy skills. On the question, some of the conclusions are presented here. On the questions, who will have the most impact on the future energy need of the building, the respondent identified architects and engineers with the most percentage, and also engineering professions. So as we like to say, white collars, the one that will have the leading role in implementing energy efficiency measures and also measures towards sustainability in construction. Construction management has also been identified as one of the influencing part of the whole building cycle, value cycle, but the white colors are the one that will have identified that will have the most impact. According to measuring, are there enough skilled professionals on the local market? There are some, but there is a significant lack of the skilled professionals are the most identified percentage. If we collect these two, we have almost more than 85% need identified for skilling professionals on the local markets. And if there are enough possibilities for upskilling, we need to do more by providing more upskilling possibilities in order to upskill the professionals and fill in this gap in skilled professionals. The third campaign or survey that was done recently was in order to ask now the tenants and the owners, not the building professionals, but the people that are using the buildings. And very nice and very interesting video with the most interesting ideas shared by the tenants, not the professionals, was created. You can see this video through the project's website. The video has resulted after a brief campaign in all 5 countries for harvesting ideas from the tenants. The tenants are aware about the meaning and the benefits from using energy skills and skilled professionals in construction and in renovation. And they also have very interesting, as I said, ideas how this value of skilled professionals can be increased and how skilled professionals should be valued more and promoted more. So this is a very interesting video, as I said, which incorporates and which presents the meanings and the opinions and the ideas from the tenants. The video is created by tenants in all 5 countries. They are speaking in the native languages in order to express this EU value of multicultural and multinationalities. And we have English subtitle below. Finally, the third part of my presentation will go toward to present the final and most important project result that we are targeting, the integrated register of energy skills. As I said, we are about to launch already the register, which will be a single spot for everything related to energy skills. It will provide a database of training schemes, database of certified professionals, and database of construction materials. This integrated register or integrated cloud system of all the databases is enabled as desktop application, but also as a mobile application. It is easy to access through the project website by filling in the registration form. On our promotional public events, we are sharing small leaflets or small gadgets where the user account and password are provided, but also this is not the only way to enter and to register on the database. You can do a self-registration on the integrated register by signing up, filling in, and providing selecting your username and password in order to further on use the integrated register of energy skills. For the catalog of training schemes, we decided we have chosen as a good option to use some of the already existing and well-known, well-recognized application or catalog of training schemes, Build Up Skills Advisor application, which will be upgraded with additional SEETHESKILLS training schemes provided by all the training partners, but also within the current project, we will develop 8 more micro-learning pieces in the form of webinars, which will be additionally provided into BUS app. So the catalog of training schemes is well-known BUS Advisor app. Professionals register, as I said, we have identified that there are several professionals register or databases of certified professionals on EU level, resulting from different projects that are finished or ongoing projects. The idea is to interconnect all these databases, and interconnection to be done by the learning outcomes, by the units of learning outcomes. So SEETHESKILLS Professionals Register will interconnect all the existing databases of professionals and will provide visibility of the skills of the professionals with issuing a digital badge for the professionals from the database. The digital badges will be in different colors, referring to different occupational specialisms of the professionals within the register. The third database, as I previously mentioned, which will bring innovation, mostly will bring innovation because the first one are already existing, but now we are making the interconnections within the SEETHESKILLS, is material database. And most important, that this material database will be interconnected with the previous one in terms that we are listing the construction materials along with their technical, environmental, economic information, which are what are the companies that are producing the material, what is the cost of the material, a brief explanation of the material, where it is used, the sector where the material is used, in the building structure, in building covers, as a basic material for energy installation, etc. And most important, one other important issue or property of the materials that will be provided in this material database are the environmental impacts and properties very much related with what we have heard in the previous project, related with the LCA analysis of the material and also standardization and labeling of the material in terms of eco-labeling of the material. And the third item or property that is innovative in this project is that all the materials will be linked with the specialism, the set of skills that the installers or the professionals that will use this material or they will be prepared to install this material need to know or have to have. This column or this third property of the materials linked with the necessary skills for implementing or using this construction material will enable linking the construction materials in this database with the other databases, the database of skilled professionals. And if there is a lack of skill, the database of training schemes that will provide the necessary skill for implementation or for using of those construction material. These are the basic three databases within the Integrated Register of Energy Skills. Beside these three databases, there are many different functionalities and e-tools that are provided within the Integrated Register of Energy Skills. One of them is the e-learning platform. And this is a screenshot from the project website, Integrated Register, from where you can go into the register and from where the entry point for the Integrated Register and the three databases will be enabled. And we also have the e-tools or these different functionalities that will be provided. Some of them are already in place, like e-learning platform. E-learning platform is a quick link to the organized trainings and webinars developed within SEETHESKILLS project. These are new trainings developed within SEETHESKILLS project. Then we have the entry point for IRPL tool that I mentioned before, digitalized tool for the process of recognition of prior learning. As I said, it is in the final phase of developing and testing, and from September it will be available. We will enable different functionalities related to gamification within the training process, the process of upskilling. Then additional one is the mobile application for self-assessment of skills by the workers related to IRPL tool. But IRPL tool will evaluate the skill of professionals and will issue final certificate of the professionals that have the skills, that possess the skills. This mobile application will target the workers for them to make the self-assessment of their skills in order to decide whether they need to go for upskilling and to search e-learning platform for some suitable training scheme, or to decide if the mobile application have provided them with conclusion or evaluation that they already have all the necessary skills for certification, and then they can apply for IRPL tool. Additional functionalities that will be developed from in the autumn. End of November is the due date for developing these two final functionalities: post-occupation evaluation web tool for owners, where the owners can make the self-assessment of their building or their object in terms of energy efficiency and sustainability, and they will be provided with some proposals how to enhance energy efficiency of their object. This tool will enable searching through the platform for certified professionals that can do that job, and also find the craftsman functionality mentioned before. Related to the e-learning platform, we are using Moodle platform embedded into the website of the project SEETHESKILLS. 8 different training courses or webinars, in terms of webinars, will be enabled. We are launching next week from the 20th of June, the first 4 webinars. As I said, they are based on Moodle platform, short training courses that are self-guided learning training courses. Each of these training courses encompass of 3 topics or 3 subjects. Each of the subject has a video recording of the presentation, then a learning material, and a self-assessment quiz of 3 to 5 questions. After completing all the 3 topics, you are enabled to take the final assessment, which will lead, if completed successfully, to certification. The first 4, as I mentioned, training schemes or webinars that will be enabled from the next week on the e-learning platform of SEETHESKILLS are installation of PV system and design of PV system and buildings, and then effective data collection for digitalization, something related with 3D scanning that was also mentioned in the previous project, and effective coordination in order to clash detection in pre-construction phase related to using BIM tools in construction. These 4 webinars will be enabled from the next week, and within 1 month, we will also run the application process for trainees for the other 4 related to BIM certification and necessary BIM skills for construction 4, and also cross-craft skills. The 2 training schemes related to cross-craft skills will be enabled in the next project phase. I already mentioned that certification, which will be enabled within the Integrated Register of Energy Skills, will be possible by 2 different pathways or 2 different ways. There are 2 different ways how you can get your skills certified. through non-formal training, and these trainings that can be taken through the e-learning platform of the project, but also the other available trainings accessible through BAS application, which usually finalize with the final exam. Successful completion of the exam provides certificate of the professional, and certified professionals will be directly and automatically populated in the professionals register or professionals database available through the integrated register of SEETHESKILLS, and the professional will obtain also the digital badge. And the other pathway is through recognition of informal learning by using the digital process of recognition of prior learning. If you self-assess yourself that you have already all the necessary skills for certain occupation, then you can run and go through the digital process of recognition of prior learning. All this positive certification process will finish with obtaining certificate, obtaining digital badge, and listing into the database of certified professionals. This is how the card along with the digital badge will look like. Most important is the QR code that will link directly to the professionals register and provide all the necessary information, all the list of learning outcomes of the profession that has possessed those digital badges. And the final objective of the project is increased value of the skills. What is the main idea of the whole project? That the proper implementation of the proposed energy efficiency measures with skilled workers, including proper installation, proper thermal bridges, proper insulation of the building, etc., will lead finally to the measurable energy savings. And these measurable energy savings will be by themselves promotion of the value of the energy skills. How we will present this measurable energy savings is another separate activity of the project, not related with the visibility of skills, but it starts in this final year of the project. The measurable energy savings, which are result by using skilled workers and energy skills, will be shown or will be promoted by building assessment by using BIM tools. So the activity also that runs in the pre-final work package of the project is making assessment of selected buildings. Several buildings in each of the project countries will be assessed by using BIM tools. We will try to make distinguishing buildings that are built with with professionals that are previously certified, that has already certificates for energy efficiency, and buildings that are built with, let's say, ordinary professionals that have not shown their certificates for energy efficiency, in order to show these differences or measurable energy savings shown by using in the construction or in renovation process skilled professionals. This is the way how we plan to show this measurable energy savings that will lead to promotion of the value of energy skills and to promotion of the skilled professionals. And finally, this is only a brief cut of the final video for promotion of the integrated register of energy skills that I have explained now, because we are launching its implementation, and most recently in the last weeks we have created this video for promotion of the integrated register of energy skills, and this is only this section of the final seconds from the video for promotion of the register.
Join us in the green revolution with SEETHESKILLS. Unlock the potential of sustainable energy skills, maximize your investments, and contribute to a greener future. Visit seetheskills.eu to learn more about this transformative project.
And that will be all from my presentation. Thank you for your presentation, for your attendance here, and for patience for following me.
Thank you very much. It is also a really interesting project, really interesting tool. So
My screen.
actually, I don't know if there is any question in the panel.
Well, I was mostly very pleased to see the material database for building. That's something that, now thinking about asbestos, if we had such thing 50 years ago or 60 years ago, then we wouldn't need to go and look for asbestos today, right? What is the how do you, is it something that will be made available after the project is finished, and who's going to be using it? How is it going to be available? Is it going to be part of BIM systems? Can you say a bit more about that?
Yes, exactly. Sustainability of project results after project end is always a question, and something that is discussed within the project team and consortium when we are creating something like this. That's why we decided while creating integrated register of skills not to create a separate databases and then fill in with new people, with new construction materials, etc., but to try to make the integration of the already existing platforms and to provide searching through these existing databases and platforms through a common entry point of the integrated register of SEETHESKILLS. We are 5 countries as partners in this project. For integrated register, we are using cloud system, cloud platform, the responsible partner for creating all the platform and maintaining the platform during the project and also for the first 3 years after project end is our partner from Barcelona, ITEC, Institute of for Construction Technologies. But the ownership of the platform and the project results is shared between all the project partners. We have prepared the creation of the concept of the integrated register business plan, let's say, for ensure sustainability of this platform, also after project end, and it is planned to, if we are not making it part of some new project, it is planned after the 3rd year after the finishing of the project. So that means 4 years from now to try to be self-sustaining by making it commercial in terms of companies that will promote their materials in the material database will benefit from this promotion and in that manner to make this platform self-sustainable. But of course, as all the projects, we are planning to make a follow-up of this project in some other call, and in order to ensure sustainability in the further years.
Okay, thanks.
I have another question related to your project. I don't know if this question makes sense, but can your smart tool be linked to a building information, BIM tool or something like that? I mean, many companies are using these techniques these days, so maybe the compatibility with these tools could be interesting. I don't know if.
Yes, exactly. Building information modeling and BIM tools is not that was not the target in the project. So we only propose it as a tool that can be used in order to show this measurable energy savings. Now, as I said, now we are starting this work package for showing the benefits of skilled professionals and using certified professionals and companies that employ certified professionals in the construction process. And I don't know what kind and which BIM tools, which software will be used by our partners which will do this BIM assessment of selected buildings are from Slovakia, from the Slovak Institute, from the Slovak Technology University, and they have very good experience in using BIM tools. I will not provide some concrete software tools that will be used, but as I know, they are using Allplan. Also, we have communication with ACA software from Italy. Very good communication and very good collaboration in the previous projects. Also, our partner BIM Academy from Spain is very much experienced in promoting using BIM tools. So this will be the partners that are responsible for making this BIM assessment in order to provide to show the measurable savings by using certified professionals. As I said, by the end of November, we will have this report from these case studies, and then we will be able to share more what tools are used and how to interconnect these tools within the platform that is presented.
Thank you. I have another question for Roberta or Stefania, and it is related to the risk of the project. I mean, what are the main risks that of this project that you expect? For example, I mean, it is a 5 years project, if I remember well, and actually this project has many topics, things related to data collection, data processing, and so on. The collection of material construction, processing of materials. You have to take into account of the different properties of the materials and so on. And actually, everything related to sustainability and so on is having many changes in the regulatory framework. So in 5 years, it could be a risk, or there are other risks, more, I don't know, that can affect the projects or to the development or to the accuracy of the expected results?
I mean, some risks you have mentioned them yourself. I mean, heterogeneity of the materials. How do we take samples in a way that is relevant and representative for a material that is very heterogeneous? I mean, yeah, the European Commission is working on specific targets for specific fractions of construction demolition waste. So it can be that targets will be made stricter, but I don't think this will be a risk. This will just be a change in the boundary conditions for the project, but the project will still, or the goals of the project will still be relevant, especially if there will be stricter targets, for example. So, I don't know if you have anything to add, Roberta.
I think what I just wanted to say the same that you said. I think the main objectives will remain the same, but yeah, it will of course depend. Maybe the European Commission proposes, I don't know, a different legislation, or there will be any changes in national regulations. But I do not see really huge expected changes in the project.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a bit the same. Like, I don't. The direction in which we expect even regulation and regulatory boundaries to move to is completely in line with the goals of the project. So I don't expect, I cannot imagine the European Commission saying that pre-demolition audits are a waste of time. We should just not do them anymore. On the contrary, there will be just more and more focus on getting them done. So I think what we do will still be relevant. I guess the typical risk is that that what we develop doesn't get uptaken by the market, so it doesn't really create an impact after the project. This is a typical risk and a real one. Maybe the biggest one, I would say, that everything just gets parked in a drawer and forgotten 5 years after a project. Right? So I would say maybe this is the greatest challenge or risk. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, my question or my suggestion related to this regulations and so on is related to the standard that the European Commission is, or Europe, or maybe the national governments and so on, are implementing in order to say how to collect the data, how to process the data security, privacy, for example. And also, I'm working on this type of projects, and there are changes and new standards and so on. And actually didn't know if it's similar in the construction, I mean, for processing the materials and so on, because, okay, now this component or material is more dangerous, so you need to process these materials on this way instead of this one. My question was more related to these processes that now you know, or there is experience in, maybe some of the partners has experience processing these materials and so on, but now a new standard can change the way you are processing these things. So anyway.
Yeah.
Of
course, this can happen, but I mean, standard is it. Of course, this is also a 5 years project, but I guess sometimes the time frame of changing standards can even be longer than 5 years. So I guess it will be a process, and we can kind of take care of it on the way. I'm hoping. We have it's both DTI where I'm sitting, but also we have 2 other universities, and they work a lot with testing of construction materials, and that will also be their role in the project. And I think the 3 of us have our fingers on the stand. I mean, we will follow these, and then we also have FIEC, which is obviously a lobbying, or you do lobbying activities, so that will also give us a chance to also have an influence on what gets done. So that,
Understood. Yeah. So thank you so much again for your presentations and your time.
Yes.
And good luck on your projects. They are really interesting. That is all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Bye.
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 Have a nice day.